Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about the hands down easiest method and all the tips that go into getting an easy 20 kill badge or the Legends Awake badge. So before I get into the video, I do want to say that about 93% of you guys are not actually subbed, so if you just hit that subscribe button, it would mean a lot to me and it would be helping me out a ton. I appreciate all the new subscribers, and if you subscribe from this video, I just want to say thank you. So let's get right into the video. So the first tip, and this is probably the biggest tip that you are going to get from any video you watch on this topic, this is playing with friends. Okay, I know you may think that, oh, well, if I play with players that are decent, they're going to take the kills or whatever. But if you're playing with two other players that know what they're doing and can easily get kills and hold their own, and you believe that they are good players, just ask them to help you out in getting the 20 bomb, and I guarantee it will make your life 10 times easier. Going for the 20 bomb solo is a little bit difficult, just for a couple reasons. Obviously, just because your randoms could steal kills, or you might not find enough people, or 1v3s can be a little bit difficult sometimes, and you have to secure them consistently to get a 20. And these are all difficult things, but when you're playing with a full squad, it's a lot easier, especially when you're all on the same page and helping. So I've helped a couple of people get the 20 bomb just by being in their squad, and the method I would use was getting like a peacekeeper wingman, and I would just get right up in enemies' faces. I would go full aggressive and take all of the pressure off of the friend who's trying to get it. And in doing this, I'm able to deal a whole bunch of damage with the Peacekeeper. I'll do like 100 or 120. I'll just break the shield, and then I'll just distract. And that's your main job. You just want to break the shield and then distract if you're trying to help someone get it. And then, call-outs are very important as well, communications. So you say, I cracked Wraith, Wraith is weak, Wraith is one shot, and then things like that. And then he will focus on Wraith, kill him, and he will almost never be in danger. So this is the hands-down easiest way of getting the 20 bomb. So if you're not working with friends or working with people you find in the community, I promise you it's going to make your life 10 times easier. And if you're a player that gets like 15, 16 consistently, but can never really get that 20, this is definitely going to be the boost that's going to get you and push you over the threshold to help you get it. So there's a couple more tips I want to go into, but before I say that, I'm just going to be, I'm not actually putting a 20 bomb gameplay on the screen. I'm just putting a ranked gameplay on, and if you guys need a little more credibility from me, I will show you all the legends I have 20 bombs on. I have the 20 kill badge on every single legend except Revenant, so I'll be showing that on screen now. But I want to get into the other tips, which include playstyle, rotations, where to land, things like that. So first up, we have playstyle. Obviously, you want to be playing super aggressive. So in my opinion, if you are very comfortable with the R99, I would say use two of them. Double R9s is a very effective strategy for pushing. You almost never lose gunfights just because you're able to shred people extremely quickly. So 2 R9s is an amazing strategy. R9 Prowler works as well, or like a Devo or Mastiff if you plan on getting those, or if you get lucky enough to get those. I would say definitely utilize these high DPS weapons. Even the Havoc would work amazing because you can sit back at range while your teammates do most of the damage, and then you can just shred the people, finish them off, and do it that way. So I'd say you want to use weapons that you're comfortable with as well. So if you're comfortable with the Prowler more than the R9, just use that. It's the same thing. I mean, the Prowler's honestly just a little bit better in terms of close quarter combat. So you might see more success with that. But either way, just use these high DPS close quarter weapons that you can be extremely aggressive with and just run people over, because they're going to help you out the most. I'd say kind of avoid the Peacekeeper just because it can be a little bit inconsistent, and if there's one thing you're definitely going to need for the 20 bomb, it's you need to be consistent. Your damage needs to be consistent, and you need to be on point all game. So I'd say the weapon loadout is very important, as well as your playstyle. You obviously can't play defensively to get the 20 bomb. You're going to have to be very aggressive with aggressive weapons that fit your playstyle. And then I want to talk about another tip, which is where you land. So, say you're on World's Edge, and now there's Kings Canyon, so it's a little bit different. But say you're on World's Edge and you land, Tree, you're probably not going to do too well, just because that's not a very populated spot. So I want to talk about rotations just a little bit here. So if you're landing sorting, you can possibly rotate towards fragment and then get a couple kills there. Or if you land fragment, chances are you can just stay there because there's tons of people constantly rotating in and out of fragment. So you definitely need to be landing in, high populated areas for this to work. And that's very dangerous, and I understand that. So what you can do is land a location nearby. And the best example I have for this is if you're playing on Kings Canyon, land Thunderdome. Thunderdome is a secure place. Usually you'll have one team there, so you can get 3 kills off the bat pretty easily. So you just kill them, and then you can rotate into Skulltown and clean up whatever's left in Skulltown. So you usually leave there with about 6 you know, 6+ kills after it's all said and done. And that's very, very good, especially in the early game when you're getting 6 kills right off the bat, and then you're able to continue the game. So the layout I have, basically, in terms of all the 20 bombs I've gotten, what I've noticed is that, you know, kind of like the last call, or the final point where you're still on pace for 20 bomb, is 6 kills with 24 people left. So if you have 6 kills with 24 people left, you are technically still on pace, but it's not ideal. That's like the worst case scenario, but it's still possible. So if you're at like 8 kills with 26 people left, you know, you're looking pretty good. That's a really good pace. So you just want to keep that in mind, you know, see what you can do, see what you can't. Because if you're at like, you know, 5 kills with 20 people left, chances are you're not going to get it. It's almost pretty much out of the question at that point. So, you know, just you want to keep that in mind, that 6 kills with 24 left is like the final call. You either need to go super aggressive at that point, or you're not going to get it. So I want to continue talking about rotations a little bit, because it can be easy to secure kills in early game, but then, you know, it becomes mid game and people are like, they don't really know what to do. And that's understandable. It can be very, very difficult. Because I mean, I've felt this pain a million times before, where I've gotten like 6-7 kills off drop, and then you just look over, you glance over at the thing you glance over at the amount of people left every 5-10 seconds, and each time you look over, there's one less person. You know, people just tend to die a lot mid game, and there's really nothing you can do, because a lot of times you don't hear the gunshots. You know, you don't see where this is happening. You don't hear it, so you're not really sure where it's happening, and that can be very confusing and frustrating, because half the lobby will just die randomly and you won't hear a thing. So you need to be on point with your rotations, and this is why Pathfinder and legends like that are very efficient for this, because they can move around the map very quickly. So what you're going to need to be doing mid-game is basically just running. You just need to be going. Like, you can't stop moving until you hear gunshots. And once you hear gunshots, literally just run straight towards them. So mid-game, all you need to be worried about is, you know, finding people, because you're going to be getting most of your kills early and late game. Late game, the circle's small, so you'll be able to find people a lot easier and run them over. And then early game, usually if you land hot, you'll be able to mow some people down early. But mid game is where, you know, most people already died off rip, so everyone's just kind of alone in their areas that they dropped in, so they're just looting or whatever, or maybe there is the occasional fight. So you just want to be very, very aggressive mid game. Without really, you know, putting your life on the line too much. And that's probably a very important tip that you guys need to understand as well, is, you know, play your own life. You know, it's one thing to be super aggressive, but you also need to understand that, you know, if you go down, that's it. That's the end of your whole run. So you just want to take that into account and be very, very careful with that. And whereas you can play super aggressive, you need to be on point. You need to be an outstanding player to be able to run everybody over without even a second thought. And it's very difficult, so most people aren't going to be able to do that. And that's why the teammate strategy works so well, is because you can kind of incorporate a little bit of safety into your super aggressive play style, and you know, see some success with that. So in my opinion, the best way of getting the 20 bomb is playing with friends, playing super aggressively, and valuing your own life, just to avoid you dying, because like I said, if you die, it's pretty much over. There's nothing you can do. You can go down, you know, whatever, maybe you go down, but if you die and they have to respawn you, you are wasting precious time, and chances are you won't get it. So just avoid dying at all costs, avoid being too aggressive and almost just careless. You can play very aggressive, but don't be careless. You want to, you know, keep yourself safe at all times. So the final tip I want to go over has to do a lot with late game, because late game could potentially be the most dangerous point, because at that point it's going to be a little bit harder to 1v3, since most players will be established, they will be set up, and you know, they will most likely be able to do the most, because, you know, typically better players survive to the end of the game, and they'll be more equipped to take you down. So it's going to be harder to 1v3, and that's where the teammate thing comes in, because even if you're playing with randoms, you know, kind of bait your teammates out a little bit. Just make sure they fight first. I mean, that's just if you're not extremely confident in your gun skill. If you're 100% confident in your 1v3s and you're 100% confident that you could take down any squad, then honestly I don't really know why you're watching this video, but you could just run at people. It doesn't really matter. You know, I've gotten 20 bombs where I just charged forward, and I've gotten 20 bombs with no teammates at all. You know, I just run forward, run people over, but that's not going to be the easiest method. That's not going to be the best method, and it's not going to work for everyone, especially late game when everyone tends to have purple blue shield. So you're going to need to play a little bit smarter in this aspect, and not to mention, a lot of times late game you get third partied. So you almost want to be the guy third partying in those late game situations. So the final tip, and this is a very, very important tip, and I left it at the end just for anyone who, stayed on the video. I just want to show you that I appreciate you staying on this video and watching the entire length of the video. So this is a secret little tip that no one talks about, but I have known about and I have done myself tons of times, and it has literally gotten me 20 bombs countless times. So this tip is thirsting people, but more importantly, there's a method of doing it. So if you come in on a third party, right, and there's one team, there's two teams fighting, obviously. You wipe one team, but the other team has 2 players down. So a little known fact is that if you thirst those players that are down, once the initial squad that knocked them is wiped, they will count as your kills. So what I mean by this, because this can be a little bit confusing, is basically like, say, Team A and Team B are fighting, and Team A loses 2 teammates. They're knocked. They're out of the fight. And then you push up and just destroy Team B entirely. Now at this point, since Team B is gone, you will be able to thirst the members of Team A, and those kills will count for your kills and not the people who initially killed them. So this method is perfect for third partying and really, really helps out a ton, because, when you're third partying constantly for 20 bombs, which is one of the most important parts, missing out on 2 kills like that could make or break. I can't even count how many times I've gotten 18, 17, 19 kill games, just that 1-2 short, and that could have saved you. So don't just immediately try tracking down the last guy. Let him live. Let that guy live. Let him do whatever. Just thirst his teammates. Maybe even leave. Maybe he'll get the res. You can go kill them again. So just play passive in that aspect, but definitely always thirst the teammates, guys. I promise you, this is going to separate you, especially with the teammates thing. This is going to separate you from being able to get the 20 bomb and from not being able to get it. So that's just my bonus tip for everyone who stayed around and watched the entire video. I just want to show you that I appreciate you. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope these tips can help you guys get a 20 badge. I really do. This is an awesome badge, and a lot of people really, really want to get this badge. So I hope these tips really did help. So if you liked the video, just drop a like and subscribe. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.